guys, I'm Riley.
And I'm Izzy.
And you're watching today's episode of Generation Imagination.
This month's news lineup brings us everything on the board from Pepsi CEOs, Wisconsin politics, and prescription drug costs.
So let's get to it.
The first week of August brings us U.S. economic sanctions on Iran, missing children, and Pepsi CEO Indra Nooyi.
The second week of August was filled with President Trump's war with his Attorney General, Wisconsin's political crossroads, and a police brutality attack in Baltimore.
Week 3 of August brings us prescription drug costs, Russian-American investigations, and a bomb in Yemen. According to the New York Times, the U.S. said on Monday, August 6th, that it would restore economic sanctions on Iran that were lifted in the 2015 nuclear accord. These sanctions ban transactions with Iran that involve U.S. banknotes, gold, metals, commercial passenger airlines, and coal, as well as banning imports of Iranian carpets and foods to the United States. U.S. allies will be forced to choose between the tiny Iranian economic market and the large U.S. economic market when making trades with these sanctions imposed. Other signers of the Iranian nuclear deal, which the U.S. withdrew from in May of 2018, are worried about the resurgence of nuclear activities now that they are not receiving economic relief. The decision sparked controversy inside European countries as well as inside the U.S. political scheme as well.
A search for a 3-year-old Georgia inhabitant led to a horrifying discovery of 11 children, 3 women, and 2 men, including the missing boy's father, living with virtually no food. In their makeshift compound, located in Amelia, New Mexico, the children lived in complete squalor, with only a few potatoes and a box of rice left to eat. The 3 women and 2 men were charged with 11 cases of child abuse and neglect, and they were arrested. Of the 11 children found, Abdul is not one of them.
Pepsi's longtime CEO, Indra Nooyi, steps down from PepsiCo on October 3rd. Born in India, she was one of the few people of color to lead a Fortune 500 company, and her departure will leave the Fortune 500 companies with only 24 women CEOs. Her time spent running Pepsi, 12 years, was filled with decisions to shift Pepsi towards healthy products and keep her company strong. Neil Saunders, a managing director at Global Data, says Nooyi will leave a company stronger than when she first inherited it 12 years ago. Her departure will be sad news indeed for the Pepsi company.
President Trump is entrenched in a series of attacks against his Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, according to the New York Times, revolving around the Russian interference investigation. When referring to reports about meetings between a Justice Department official and a previous British spy who created a report with unverified but damaging allegations for Mr. Trump, he wrote on Twitter, "I have never seen anything so rigged in my life. Our Attorney General is scared stiff and missing in action." President Trump continued to criticize Mr. Sessions for taking a week former Secretary Clinton issues that the Justice Department considers settled.
Wisconsin is in the middle of a political crossroads as elections for governor and Senate rapidly approach. The Democratic and Republican parties of Wisconsin are battling to pull Wisconsin towards a Trumpian or liberal path. Wisconsin's struggle to define or redefine its political direction is a part of a larger identity crisis that has rippled across the Midwest. The voters of Wisconsin are split over nearly every issue in government, preferring to remain both conservative and liberal at the same time. But unfortunately, this delicate balance threatens to pull Wisconsin in an uncertain direction.
On Saturday, August 11th, another act of police brutality struck Baltimore. Video capturing the argument and then physical fight between the black officer and the black man was released and caused stir among the internet, eventually causing the Baltimore police to take a stand. The officer who attacked the man resigned his post, and the officer on scene in the situation remains on administrative duties, although the case is being treated as an investigation, as the Baltimore police report.
States around the country have begun forcing pharmaceutical companies to disclose and to justify price increases in prescription drugs, although these companies claim a violation of their constitutional rights. States are also attempting to regulate the middlemen, the people who stand between drug companies and their consumers. These middlemen play a crucial role in managing drug benefits for employees while also taking funds from pharmaceutical companies to ensure their drugs get preferential treatment. State Representative Sean Scanlon says that the reason why states are taking up these cases is because of the federal government. In the absence of federal action, states are taking the lead in combating high drug prices, he says. In 24 states, bills have been passed to curb In 24 states, bills have been passed to curb rising prescription drug costs, and more are expected to follow.
The New York Times assessed President Trump's claims about Russian interference during the 2016 presidential election and discussed the ensuing federal investigation of his campaign for his aforementioned campaign. While some of his criticism included opinion statements as referring to the situation as a witch hunt, others included valid points. The Russian trope has been pricey for the U.S. government, as Trump indicated. However, other points he makes, such as the idea that Democrats made up and pushed the Russian story as an excuse for a terrible campaign, have been inaccurate, as the Democratic Party believed the Russian campaign interference began months before the election date in November, and the Republicans insisted upon this fact as well.
A bomb which killed 40 children in Yemen was discovered to be of U.S. origin. The bomb was sold as part of a U.S. State Department-sanctioned arms deal with Saudi Arabia, writes CNN. Of the 51 people killed in the airstrike in Yemen, 40 of them were children trapped inside a school bus. Eyewitnesses allege that the airstrike took direct hit in the middle of a busy marketplace. Families of the victims of the event mourn their lost children and family members, as others find a way to protect innocent lives. Our Super Teen of the Month segment goes to teen sisters Melody and Isabel from Bali. Balinese girls are fighting to protect their island's natural resources by advocating for the elimination of single-use plastic bags, like the ones that you get at the grocery store, from the island. These teens launched their program Bye Bye Plastic Bags in 2013 and have since had the opportunity to speak at the United Nations and to give a TED Talk. These two girls organized a hunger strike in order to pass legislation to work towards a plastic-free Bali. Check out Bye Bye Plastic Bags and Melody and Isabel's program in the link in our description.
Stories are linked below if you'd like to learn more about what we talked about today.
That's all we've got for today, guys. We'll be back next Wednesday with another video.
Riley
and Izzy
signing off.